Okay, we are back. And if you're just joining us for the first time, no, we do not normally match our shirts. I am Ralph the coach, and I get dressed first.
I'm Candy from Candy Conversations.
And she
That's
doesn't.
all I'm going to say.
Okay, so I picked last time. So you say you had a good one for us.
I do. It's one of those buzzword topics that honestly, what made me think that I realized we hadn't talked about it fully. And then was like, I think it would be a really good one. I was chatting with some of my colleagues. It kind of just came up in conversation. But today I want to talk about what it means to be in your soft girl era. And as a woman, what do we need? As women, what do we need to feel like we can be in our soft girl era? Um, so we're going to jump right in like we normally do, just to kind of share some background. There was three of us sitting around, all different like relationship statuses and experiences and even ages. Um, And what happened was one young lady was like, I just want to be in my soft girl era. And the other lady sitting there was like, yeah, but what does that really mean? And so I chimed in and I said, I feel like in order to really be in your soft girl era, the removal of the extra masculinity that we have to carry like is necessary. And I mean that in a way where how I explained it, I said, I need a safe space to be a soft girl to really thrive in my soft girl era. I need to know that I don't have to make every decision. I need to know that the things that need to be done are going to be cared for because that gives me the chance to relax and be soft. Like I don't have to lead everything all the time. And they were both like, you know what? That's a good point. They were like, I like that. You need a safe space to be a soft girl. And that's like, but to be honest, it's what at one point I was kind of researching it when it kind of first became like a little buzzword phrase. And I was like, what is it? What are they talking about being a soft girl? And but one lady said, you know, her husband gives her the space to be soft because she doesn't have to do the leading. He can't like she has been always has been a leader. So she definitely had like the independent energy. I got it, I can do it, boss. And he came in and hey, it was like, you don't have to do that no more. You just be. And she even went as far as to say that that means she can sit on the couch at any random time with a cup of tea and a book and not have to worry about anything, even dinner. Like if he picks up that she is like needing some time to herself and not doing it's okay. He recognizes the need for her to just have a moment and he fills in the gap. So it's true partnership, to be honest. Um, doesn't mean she never comes out of it, but I was just like, oh. And she went into more details about the soft girl era, just like some things to make herself feel more feminine. But at the core of it, you have to be in a space in your relationship to where you almost like feel worry free, you know? Um, not so task oriented all the time. So that's what what are your thoughts on that? You agree, you disagree?
Yeah. I agree and disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say why. So, um, I love how you said part or you said some of your masculinity when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to women, not
Mm-hmm.
just your masculinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some women are naturally like myself. I can balance both,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we, because of social media, if a female has any bit of masculinity, then it's deemed as wrong. And,
Right. Mm-hmm.
this is why you don't have this and that, a third, where I'm someone who has all the things and the third, right?
Right.
I've always had a boyfriend. I got married, got a kid. I've checked all the boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be married again. So,
Mm-hmm.
as someone,
Period.
okay, as someone who, um, and it's also what society deems as masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
not everyone has the same definition of masculine because,
Mm-hmm.
we have some people like, oh, he can work on a car, so he's masculine. It's like, but
Mm.
he can't do nothing else though.
Right. Right. Right.
So, but um, so here is my I don't want to say I disagree, but this is where I say we need more conversation about it, I guess. And I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know if we need more conversation. Maybe the conversation just needs to stop. Um, this this soft girl era
Mm-hmm.
to me is on the lines of patriarchy. Old school. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if there's an old school or new school, but old school because it is dressed in the old school mindset of a man being a man's man and taking care of everything and just allowing the woman to show up and you know he like, honey, I got it, don't worry about it, I got this, you just sit there and be pretty. That's old school. Because what happens to the women who want to still keep a part of their independence? They want
Right.
to do some things for themselves. So now it's like, I'm not a soft girl because I want to do this. And so then it put those women in a situation like, well, am I not doing it right? Am I not considered a soft girl? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? What are the rules? And it
Mm-hmm.
just seems like, and then also it put the men, because to me, it's not in partnership. It's, me being catered to, me having a concierge, me having, and it's just because we've gone so long without having anything,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like now we want somebody who'll do everything how we used to do everything
Mm-hmm.
instead of it being a partnership where it is sometimes you cook or sometimes I do this because that's a real partnership. I think I like,
Right.
what I'm saying, some people don't like roommate styles and these are the, sometimes maybe people who never had a roommate, but
Mm-hmm.
when you have a good roommate,
Mm-hmm.
it is a partnership. Like, girl, you working late tonight? Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm a cook. Okay. So when you come
Right.
home,
Right.
that's a partnership. Like we
Right.
communicate in, child, don't worry about it, because I'm gonna get to the house before you. I'll go ahead and start dinner. You just
Mm-hmm.
come in, do what you need to do. You get it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, yeah, you go ahead and start. I'll get the dishes. So then we both get to relax afterwards. Partnership,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not saying that. We're saying he need to drive, he need to pay, he need to pay for
Mm-hmm.
your nails to be done, he need to give you time to relax, he need to get the kids, he need to like. So then now we burning him out now. So then you
Right.
got to have his soft guy era after 10, 15, 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I just feel like it's good and bad to this.
Mm-hmm.
And this needs to be balanced, or maybe we just need to not talk about it anymore and not try to have people fit into a box and then allow people to figure out who they are and what they want and what they need for their particular relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and call it that era.
Yeah, and see, and I agree, but like the women that I've been talking to, one had been engaged and did have the man that did everything, but she walked away because it wasn't balanced. And then
Oh,
the
can we
other
pause?
lake,
Can we
huh?
can we like, because we can't just go past that. What do you
He wanted her to convert her life to fit his.
how if you know how I'm
move away to a city for his work, like you stop working and start having kids, and that's not what she wanted to do. But she also still feels like she has not experienced this soft girl era. So that's just giving that example of
see,
she
and
had someone who did those
yeah, so it's like
stereotypical things.
if we want to talk about that is someone who was willing to provide
Right,
soft girl era and she didn't
right,
want so it's like that's why I go back to say you need to figure out what you want because
right.
if we're deeming this soft girl era, that's not what you want.
But what I was trying to say is both of these women weren't just merely talking about the aesthetics of it. They were
Mm-hmm.
talking about the mental side of it
Mm-hmm.
because they have like, yeah, had the other lady had been married and is, is divorced, has two children, and the other one doesn't have any kids, but they have both been in situations where yeah, they got a roof over their head, clothes on their back, but they're still not. If you take like the financial part, paying for everything, making sure food is on the table, one of them was getting experiences with the trips and the travel and all that, but still did not feel like she could be in her most feminine energy. Um, Now I'm sure there's more to it that I don't know because we didn't
Right.
dig into each other's things personally, but
Right.
one of them, it was she's just like I think it came up because it's just like they were both tired. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I've had someone to do this, do that, but why am I still exhausted? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my mind can't be soft, so to speak, because yeah, I could check off all of the cars, clothes, trips, whatnot, but mentally, and I think that's kind of where we were, which is why I said the safe space to kind of really decompress mentally and see. Doesn't mean it doesn't ever come back on, because I mean, even if I'm talking to myself, I'm talking about myself personally, I know that I won't ever not lead in my current relationship. Like I just, and that's just the nature of, and I'm with someone who's okay with that. So, and there are things that I need to balance me out that we are figuring out along the way. But it was just really more so on the side of like mental, because they both have had things in relationships that I've never experienced, but they felt that most people would stereotypically say, is, oh, I'm in my soft girl era. I got this, that, he's getting my hair done, my nails, the feminine girly things, but they've still been like, this don't feel
And
like.
and I didn't feel and maybe I didn't speak enough. I was talking about the aesthetics because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we want to come down to it, it is the aesthetics of the thing
Mm-hmm.
that allows you to turn your mind off. And so
Mm-hmm.
either you was getting the things and still didn't do the thing,
Mm-hmm.
so you didn't take advantage of your opportunity because it's like having a chef, having a maid, having a nanny, and
Mm-hmm.
you're still worrying, you're still trying to micromanage, you're
Mm-hmm.
still so you're not taking advantage of the opportunity for you to
Mm-hmm.
have the soft girl era because you're still doing behind the scenes. So you know you're not rested. Yes, you are
Mm-hmm.
still tired. So
Mm-hmm.
it was more, talk about why do you feel, what I'm saying? Because no, I don't think trips and things are going to do it. But if
Right.
you have someone, like I said, who is, babe, don't worry about it, because it's the babe, don't worry about it, where
Mm-hmm.
so-called the soft girl era comes from, and you
Mm-hmm.
still worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you probably didn't trust your partner.
And truth, in one situation, no, they didn't be, and they had right not to, because
Right. So
given
yeah. So that's
reason,
why,
right,
yeah, yeah. So that's why you
right,
feel like you got to take advantage.
right.
So, and just by me not knowing, you see how I could get to kind of like almost a basis of you didn't trust them, you didn't turn it
Mm-hmm.
off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes I would rather people kind of say that and then
Mm-hmm.
instead of kind of making it the other person's fault, because I feel like a little bit of projection is there because
Mm-hmm.
you're not taking stake in the game.
Right,
So
right.
so even though
And
I didn't trust this person, I
mm-hmm.
picked, they still laid out a platform for me to take advantage of this thing. But because
Mm-hmm.
I picked them and I decided to stay with them for however long
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't trust them, so then no, but you can't say that relationship didn't allow me to. It did.
Right. And then I know in one, to be fair to the story, she left because she could not trust, and
Yeah,
she would
good. Yeah,
rather be without all of the things than have to stay and then
yes,
not feel. And
absolutely.
but now there is someone, which of course goes back to healing. There is someone who, whatever you need, whatever you want, however you need me to show up, I can do that. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. I'm patient. I'm waiting on you. But she's being honest with herself, and she's like, I know I need to heal. Like now I have that safe space, but now I'm in the healing process from what I was just in. But I can appreciate the fact that she can actually articulate that, because and she's doing it. She's open, but she's also not rushing, because she's like, that looks really great. Or like just a
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
she's like, that look real good over there. But I know that
Yeah, she'll mess it up. Yeah,
exactly.
she'll mess it
And
up.
then on the other side, I think it was just more so and that person was younger, but it was just like, I want to make sure I'm not losing myself
Yeah.
in this. Yes, I have the aesthetics, but I don't know that I can read, because a part of being, to me, a part of being soft is really relishing in who I am and loving every ounce of me, where I am, what I'm doing, meeting my needs, self-love. Like, and I said this in a recent recording that we did, that to me, the purest form of self-love is when you're really trying to align that with how God loves you unconditionally. But you got to be in a certain space to even do that. And there are people who can be great providers, but they kind of pull you out of that space sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I've always told her every time we bring it up that I applaud her for walking away. They both walked away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a part of how we got there. But it was also like, I'm tired too. you know, I'm tired of trying to, like, I don't know if I'm doing something to try to figure it out, or if I shouldn't try to figure it out, or should I just live? But in the living, I'm tired, you know. So that's adulting to nowadays. Like,
Yeah.
I told you about my 18-hour nap the day that
And
just came out of nowhere. So,
and so that's what I also said too, where why is this tied to relationships? Why can't
mm,
you have your soft girl by yourself? Why can't you
true.
provide yourself what you need so you can then have that mental fortitude to rest and think?
Right,
And why is this dependent on you being with a partner?
right.
So
I
again,
get
we're
you.
looking for someone else to provide us, to pour first into us. And again, like how you said, the self-love is the first pour.
Right, right.
So how am I going to be able to articulate to someone what I need in my in my soft girl era when I couldn't provide it for myself?
And I'm with you there, because it's like, and you know this, like, my journey is always very different from the masses, right? Because I feel like I'm
It should
learning,
be. It shouldn't be
of
no max.
course,
We talked
and
about
we
last
did
time. It
talk
shouldn't
about
be.
that, right? But I feel it's like, to piggyback and kind of just be transparent. I do feel like that comes with that, you need to spend some time by yourself, like everybody, men and women. Like,
Yes.
because you can't tell a person how to best love you without first doing it for yourself.
Okay.
And you need a different type of mentality to even figure that out while in a relationship, because now you have to almost be selfish in a relationship without being selfish full. Like, it's weird. I don't know how to
Well,
really
let's say it like this.
explain it.
You need to have some type of self-center. Like I need
Mm-hmm.
to, because what we do is, let's just say we are very healthy by ourselves, pouring into ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
focus, boom, 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 we're good, right? Then we
Mm-hmm.
get into a relationship and we lose center of ourselves. So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to say, instead of being selfish, it's more like
Right.
I lose sight of my goals. I
That's
lose
why you
sight
got
of
the
my
lettuce.
wants. That's why I got the lettuce.
That's why you got them.
We lose sight of things that make me happy, what's attracting
Right.
that person to me, and vice versa. So you have to be able to keep that intact. And that's also too when we spoke about on here about having those outside relationships and
Mhm.
having those outside activities that me and my partner don't do together. Because again,
Right.
it's me filling my own pot, which
Hmm.
some people may consider self-care or
Right.
your me time, whatever it is. But again, another reason why we do not need to be attached to the doggone him.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
then I lose sight of myself because you become now me and we are literally one. And I don't even know where I stop and you begin.
I something in there you said, and but like just simply a question to answer this to everyone. And I know we're talking soft girl era, but men, what makes you happy? Period. Like those things that genuinely bring you peace, and you don't need anybody's opinion to figure that out. That's for
But a
you
lot
to
of men
figure
don't
that out.
though. There are a
No.
lot of men who can tell you what they want, how they
Mm-hmm.
want it, what they need. I don't
Uh-huh.
need you to be there with me. I want to
Right.
be by myself. Those when you do have men who don't know, then that speaks to an attachment issue
Right.
that we talked to before. So
Exactly.
I don't want to put it out there like all men. Mm-mm. There's
Oh,
some
no,
men,
no, no, no,
yeah,
that's not my
there are some
intention.
men who were
Yeah.
just like us and say, "Oh, homegirl,
Yeah.
you how we say, hope you heal."
Right.
Yeah, and there are men who I hope you heal because
Mm-hmm.
as pretty as you are and as fine as you are, and as much as
Mm-hmm.
I want to rock you up to the ground, I'm not because I know that's going to come with a cost because
Right.
you're not healed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're going to cost me more than what I'm willing to pay. So I'll go
Exactly.
ahead and let your little pretty self go and hope you heal.
Right.
Because
Right.
some men, they've done, you know, more work than women they might be attracting.
Right. Hope you heal and hope you find your self-worth and value yours, because some of
And
it is that, like,
yeah.
again, not all men, but a lot of men do get used up.
Oh, God.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they, not to say it doesn't happen to women, because it's some
That's why I
slick
say,
ones
like,
out,
the whole gender war that they have
Yep.
on social media, it's the
We all
same thing.
experience
It's
the
the
same
same
things.
thing.
We do. We do. And it doesn't make you any more masculine or
No,
feminine
it's just
either
like
way.
everyone's going through the same thing. You're
Yep.
how I say everyone has a story, honey. Yours,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I hate to tell you, yours ain't special because there's
No.
going to be someone who has a better
No.
one than you. But at the end of the day, we all have a story. Either you're going
Right.
to use it as a crutch or you're going to use
Mm-hmm.
it as a stepping stone to do better. So,
Yours, yours ain't special, but it also is, because the special part of your story is your testimony that could bless somebody else to get out of their thing. So that's
but
the
that's
other
if you
thing.
use it as a
If
stepping stone and not
that's
a
where I
crutch.
was going. That's where I was going. That's what, like, like
Yeah.
how we're all griots. We're all natural storytellers if we want to be.
If you want to be, yeah.
But like just sharing your story sometimes, just that same group of ladies that I was talking about, my colleagues, sometimes we're just sitting there and we have random conversations about things. And I they have blessed me in so many different ways, just in confirmation of things in their life that confirms things that I've been like in discussion with God. And I shared this in a previous session that I my God speaks to me, but I'm a little stubborn, and don't you respond, young lady. Don't go and fix your neck now. Um, God speaks to me, and sometimes I'll be like, and then I'll have a conversation with a person, and it's just like that's my confirmation that He did tell you this. He, she, the universe, everybody, they told you this,
Yeah.
and you still over here trying to figure it out. So, like, I'll have a conversation and hear when I tell you the same exact words that's tied to almost the same
The
exact
hard
situation,
head.
and I'd be like, okay, I hear you. And but
Mm.
and then sometimes it's just like the blessing that I need. Like, okay, God, I do. I believed you, but thank you. Cause it's like that extra push I needed to keep going. So, um, I know I am where I'm supposed to be when it comes to like professionally, because it's been more than, sorry, it was something. It's been more than a paycheck for me going there. Like it's been growth in a lot of other ways. Um, but it's just I love that we can be vulnerable together
Yeah.
without and feel like we're in a safe space to do so. Because everybody like and one lady in the group, she was just like holding on to something that she hadn't shared with anyone in months. But she's like, I don't know why I feel compared to share it now, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
And then that kind of led into other conversations. And I was able to share something with her. It's like, I'm gonna believe with you for this because what you explained just now almost went through exactly how you did. And I'm believing if I know it worked for me, you got it. I like that's just, it's gonna happen. So yeah, but I like that the shift that you put on that, where is it like, is it really your soft girl era, or is it just you needing to figure out what you need to be happy? Because happiness is gonna make you soft. Because
Yeah.
it's light,
I'm saying like you trying to say, oh, soft girl era means this, and this. So then
Mhm.
someone who may have already felt like they were in their soft girl era, they're like, okay, have I been doing it wrong? And then so now we set off
Right,
into this whole confusion,
right.
and what I'm saying, you're putting people in boxes, and this is
Hmm. And to be fair, there's a lot of people who look the part. Ain't a thing soft about them.
well, I
They
mean,
just
that's
got,
just like your friends. Yeah,
yeah,
they might have been looking the part. I'm
right.
saying, girl, your husband sent you on these trips, or you doing this, that, and the
Hmm.
third, and he do all of this for you, and she like, but yeah, but I need to go behind him because I don't trust.
Right, right,
I mean,
right,
she, I'm saying, not saying it, but she thinking to
right.
herself like, job, please, I got to go behind him because I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So a lot
Hmm.
of people, might be looking the part, and again, it's all to the perception of the person looking.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
And that's why
true.
they tell you too, don't be looking at other people relationship with the googly eyes, because
You don't know. You
uh
don't know.
as going around, I don't know if you've seen it with the pastor and his wife on social media, and she talking about she used to iron his clothes as he got ready to go see the side chicks, and uh
Wait. Wait. No, I ain't seen
girl,
that. I
yeah,
ain't seen
it's
that.
called the, what is it, the, oh, it's a podcast, but they do the videos on here.
Is
And
their
no,
podcast?
no, no. They,
Oh,
they it's like it's something my wife podcast, like it's with this guy. And so she, not to go off on this, maybe we can make this a subject, but again, just about perception of what things look like. And I'm just going to get on my soapbox as someone who has been single a long time before I got married, and have been married and now divorced. And I still feel the same from being a single woman. For all the women who are married and speak to women who have never been divorced in a way of, you wish you were over here. Absolutely no, they don't. As someone who's been in the club, there's more miserable, excuse me, bitches in the club. So for y'all to be like, because she was on there like, that's why y'all single now, because y'all are now willing to go through what I went through. You're right. You are absolutely right, honey. No, I'm not. Because you're insecure. You have no self worth. It is a desert. And for you to get up on here and then circle back after telling us, not even being embarrassed or shame, that one, you try to blame God. And I know God is like, I ain't tell you to do none of that. I ain't tell you to do none of that.
because we got free will.
This man has degraded you, embarrassed you, disrespect you, and you sit
Wow.
up here and it's like, I held tight, and look at us still together.
Mm-mm.
You should not be.
Mm-mm.
You lost your whole entire soul. You made
Mm.
that man an idol, and you
Mm.
lost sight of
That
God and blaming it on God, and then gonna circle back and tell single women, see, that's why you single now. They would rather be single than be like you, destitute.
therapist gonna always have some work to
Honey, a
do.
therapist came on here and was no, a therapist came on and she was like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am.
They gonna always like there's always gonna be work in
It's always
education
gonna
and
be
medicine. They
work.
gonna always have work. Therapy is always gonna be a field.
Honey,
Turin, if y'all want to go to school for something, you can be a therapist.
please,
It's
because we need
Trust me,
more. We need more.
their schedules are packed.
But again, I could just imagine people who were
Well,
looking at her, not knowing.
first of all,
It,
I don't like ironing my own clothes, and I'm about to iron somebody else's clothes to go out. What?
yeah, it was more stuff. I mean, that wasn't even the worst of the worst. It was
That's
more
wild.
things. But there are a lot of wives out here who put up with a whole lot of stuff just to say they in the club, to stay in the club, to to say they've been married for a number of years. That always, when I was married, that always used to get me because it's like, once you in the club and then now you're like, oh, they were like, how long you married? And I'm 2 years. And it's just like, oh, I've been married for 15 years. Yeah, but you hate your husband. So
Right. Like, what have you endured? Has it been 15 good years?
y'all hate each other. So
Right. We're still alive together.
like, so it's
Whatever.
like it's no win-win for the bitter bitches of the married club because
Right.
even when you get married, because you haven't jumped into the marriage pool and already at 15 years, they're like, well, I've been already married 15 years. Okay, good for you.
Crazy.
I just got here, you know?
Right.
And then, God forbid, if you're single and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, okay, so I want to be married. Oh, don't get married. Don't get
Right.
Well, why are you still married?
Now that's the thing that really
Yeah,
irks my soul. Girl,
mine too.
I got people who tell me, oh, why you in a relationship? Oh, it probably ain't gonna last. Hey, you don't know what we do, what we don't do. You don't even know him. Because I mean, there's people out here, there ain't nobody honest. No, you're not gonna blanket
No.
my situation
Even when I was married,
because
I used
you
to sit
better.
down. I used to tell people marriage is a beautiful thing.
It is.
And coming from someone who's divorced, and I love being the divorced woman in a room full of married women saying, oh no, girl, stay
Mhm.
single, stay single. I said, no. I said, you want to be married, you go ahead and get married.
Right.
You just make sure that that person is a good partner to you and you be a good partner to them because marriage is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all need to say you don't need to be married, but I bet you ain't willing to go to divorce court, are you?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
stop telling people not to be in the club when you willing
Girl,
to give up your letters.
that when I tell you one of me and my dear friend, I know I can call her name and she ain't gonna be bothered by it, but one of my little bestie Stafford and I have connected in a lot of different ways because one day we were just randomly talking. I was like, do people ever tell you, oh, you don't want to have no kids, these kids work? And she's like, yeah, and it really bothers me
Yeah,
when people say that because
yeah,
it's like, why are you diminishing what I want for myself? It's already bad enough, single, never been married, and I'm in my early 40s, and that doesn't mean
yeah.
that it's not going to happen for me, but I don't need people in my life speaking down on the things that
There you go.
I still desire.
There you
So
go.
she and I were talking about how people say that to us about kids. They say it like
Yeah,
you said about being married.
yeah,
Yeah, you got people like I just said who say talk about it with just being in a relationship, and I'm like, we aren't made to be alone.
no.
Like
And I
you
can't
can
help
have
that
a
you
healthy
pick wrong.
relationship.
Right. I can't help that you pick wrong. I can't help that you just had kids
Right.
to have kids or to have kids to keep somebody or whatever your situation was. Like people can tell that, honey, I love being a mom.
Yeah.
And for other people, the only time I say don't have a kid is when that child, I'd be like, y'all
Right.
don't do it because he done ate up all my groceries.
Right. Right. But at the
But
core
then
of it, like,
I'm playing because I'd be right there. You want to do a pregnancy pack?
right. I know. Yeah,
I'll
I
have
know.
another baby quick fast. Okay, you want to do a pregnancy pack?
So I mean, but it's just
It
yeah,
gives you insight to a person's more so a person's life than for what they're telling you.
facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah,
Facts. And people are so many people are naturally toxic and unaware that they are that
yeah,
when you show up genuine for people, and when I tell you I don't fake. If I ain't happy for you, I ain't about to fake like I am. But I am truly a person that loves celebrating other people's wins. I
you
do.
should.
I love to see people win. So when people share stuff with me, and sometimes they're looking like, She really did.
Okay, like
Yes.
simmer down. It's not
This is
necessarily.
something that you wanted and you are
Yeah.
getting it. You got it. That's worth celebrating. But check your circle. Because if you ain't got no, if I ain't even in your circle like that, and I'm celebrating louder for you than the people that's in your circle, you need to check your circle. Because I don't need no big circle. We can have a little triangle, a square,
Oh, try, honey.
but I want the energy to be right. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's people who ain't reaching goals out here, who ain't don't know how to be soft, who don't have the right part because they got the wrong people around them.
Well, yeah, and speaking of that too, to go back to the soft girl, you could possibly be in your soft girl era and have someone in your circle telling you you need to do
Right.
this because they may be jealous that they're not like they
Ah,
get to see.
now
So yeah,
that's a
and
whole nother discussion, right?
you got to stay on the defense. You got to how to say you got to keep your head on the swivel.
Girl, what you do? You
You do,
do.
unfortunately.
That's saying something right there because and then I'm thinking about one of the young ladies from the conversation, well, going back to how we started. Like, I remember her being so proud because she started reading books again. She's
Okay.
like, oh, I just love it. I can't wait to get home and read my book. And it was something she was excited about. I was like, I'm so happy for you. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, I really been wanting to do this. And I was like, no, as a reader who like is nothing like turning the pages. But I told myself I'm not going to make that as an excuse to not engage with books. So audiobooks have been my thing lately. But I love turning pages. So I'm like, she don't even know that I was like in awe of her, like inspired by her to try to start picking up books again and turning the pages because it is a different experience for those who
Well,
actually read.
I mean, speaking on celebrating, like for me, I've
Mm-hmm.
never been a book person. You
Right.
know, saying I'm going to read it for the want in that moment. I might be
Mhm.
seeking information. I might be seeking improvement, but I'm not someone like, oh, I finished this book. Let me go seek another book.
Right.
If it's not a want or desire there, then I'm not looking for
Right.
a book. But if she was to tell me that, I would have been happy for her
Right.
because sometimes when we think we don't have room or there's no space or there's no time or there's no and all of a sudden okay I'm doing
Yes.
it so
That's
I
is
would have just been happy
something
because I
different about that type of feeling. Like,
yeah
yes.
because I've been in those situations like um I'm in like you're in the doing
Right.
right because
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to resonate with anything you're doing like somebody can be like girl I started
Right.
skating you better shut up talking to me you better send me some videos of you skating that's me I don't care once I walk off for you I'm not looking at no skating nothing. I'm not reminiscing about when I used to skate.
Right.
I'm looking for the next time we see each other. I want to update on you skating. You got some videos of
Mm-hmm.
you practicing or whatever.
Right.
Again,
Right.
like, I don't have to resonate or it doesn't have to resonate with me. But for you to one, I guess being in this role, you feel like you could share that with me and be
Mm-hmm.
picked up. And for me, all I need to do is honor you, which I like to do anyway. For someone
Right.
like
Right.
you need to be proud of yourself. I'm gonna clap for you.
And
Not
that's a reminder when I see her again here soon, I'm gonna tell her, you know what? I need to let you know you inspired me into
yeah,
going back to that soft girl era conversation, that could be a part of you, like because it's giving you peace, it's making
yes,
you happy. You're doing things already to
yeah,
be in your and that's key because
yeah,
establish those things before you get in another relationship and do your best to hold on to it
yeah. Like
because
for me, I know what keeps me from being snappy, from what I'm saying, feeling like I'm on the edge. I
Mhm.
do that for myself now so that
Right,
I can articulate that to someone when I get in a relationship and say, I don't want these things.
right.
I need this because if I don't have it, then I can tell you what the adverse action will be.
That part, yes,
Because
yes,
they
yes.
may genuinely be curious and be like, well, why do you need that? And just because
Hmm.
they've never heard like me, I'm organized and I'm clean and I don't want it. I have to have it like that for me to function.
Hmm.
Cannot function in clutter and I cannot function in filth. And
Right,
your filth may not be the same as my filth. Like,
right.
I always say I'm probably giving my poor baby trauma because I know the moment he moves, are you done? Are you done? Okay, let's go ahead and clean up.
And you need to because they turn into men that don't move stuff.
I mean, mine gonna be mine gonna have OCD. Okay.
Good.
So I can tell someone like I actually can't function in my job. I can't function outside the house. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like I've learned from being by myself, from living by myself, that
Mm-hmm.
I need these things. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I need for, I might be a little bit of once I wash these clothes, like I'm washing clothes now as we're
Mm-hmm.
speaking. The load is drying. And once it's finished,
Yep.
let me just go ahead and I like to check boxes off that way. It's done. It's done. It's off the list, right? So then
Look,
I
I'm
feel like
laughing because the last conversation, you gotta check them boxes before the date, before you close your
oh,
eyes. Your
you
box gotta be checked.
did
You
you
can't
did say
save a
that about
box for tomorrow now.
you did. Yeah, and there you go. See, proof right there. Because
Yep.
I feel like he's like I can go to bed, and that also helps for my mind not to be like, okay, now I got to do this, now I got to do that.
Right.
Again,
Hmm.
I need that.
Yeah.
But then now I'm in my soft girl era because now I just get to be like, oh,
Right.
I have
Right.
that ease. I have to provide myself the ease of life so then I can
Ooh.
teach or tell somebody how to help me keep that together with bringing them into my loop.
You just said something to me. We got to be able to create our own safe spaces
Yeah.
before we can expect someone. Because how do they know what that looks like?
Why
We
are we putting all this pressure on other people?
be able to
I
create your
just met
own
you,
safe space.
girl. I just met you, boy.
Right, right. And people change too.
Yes.
What it
And
looks
you
like
need to
on
know.
year one ain't gonna look the same year three, year five. No.
And I
Day
might need something
10, day
different.
20.
Yeah. I might need
So
something different. So,
yeah. I hope you do.
I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know. I know. I know. You know.
But yeah. And
Hmm.
so that also means you need to stay tapped into yourself. So then when those changes
Hmm.
start happening,
Hmm.
your partner can be like, hey, I've been noticed we've been a little bit, a little snappy.
Right.
You haven't been yourself. You've been
Right.
like stressed out. So how can I help you?
Right.
For you to be like, what are you talking about? I haven't noticed anything.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
me. All right. All right.
Right. Right. It's not.
Yeah. So you've lost awareness of self.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Ah.
You've lost awareness of self.
Oh, get out my mind and my mouth. I am saying that first.
Were you just like the shirt?
No, this one I got. It had a shirt. Oh my gosh. It's yeah, I like, but this has been good. Like, because kind of like most conversations that we have, where we started isn't necessarily where I thought we would end, but we ended in a good space. Um, because it does go back to self-love, self-awareness, and creating a life and a space for yourself before or during, if possible, if necessary, I should say, not possible, if necessary, but before you have that expectation of someone else, figure out what that is for yourself. And yeah.
Okay, well, do you have anything else on this lovely conversation? You can thank the ladies for this.
No, I'm looking forward to the next chat.
Yeah, you have some you have some.
I like, yeah, I'm also, I'm gonna run this one back because we hit on a lot of things in this that could definitely be standalone sessions. Oh, so
On this side of things, just to let people know it's been happening for a while, but there is a turning of the tides. And if you've been getting a pull to do something different than what you've been doing before, is to help us on this side. Because it's as they always say, I don't care what you believe in. We
mhm.
all have the same narrative of the good side and the bad side. And
Right.
for the longest time, the bad side had more people on it. And I feel like
Mhm.
there's a turning of the tide. So whether it's
Mm.
you
Ooh.
going into entrepreneurship, you are going into just something, you start making content. I'm seeing, a lot of my homegirls, they're making content now and just encouraging people and just,
Why does that
be
make me
me.
feel like I won't cry a little bit? I ain't gonna cry though. I ain't.
It just been, we need more realness. We need to get
Yes.
back to realness because a lot of superficial, and again, that's for the bad side. Everybody can put a cloak on,
Mm.
and it's just like people are like helping each other out by giving out, like how we're doing, we're giving perspectives, giving people a way to think about things. I'm using my expertise and you're using your talent. It's just like we're putting things out there to help bring more people to this side and give more people time to communicate and say, oh, it's not just me. And
People need that so bad.
so bad.
That
So bad.
it's not just me.
Yeah.
That listen, you gonna make me cry. I think I've been
But like I
emotional.
said, it's sometimes it's not even this. Sometimes it's like, I have friends who've been in corporate for I don't know how long, like
Mm-hmm.
20 plus years. And now they're jumping
Mm-hmm.
out here into entrepreneurship. And again,
Mm-hmm.
it's service, it's helping others. They
Yeah.
could be a godsend to somebody like, I've been
Mm-hmm.
looking for somebody like you to teach
Mm-hmm.
kids piano lessons, to,
Right.
do my janitorial, but like anything. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
y'all listen to the tug. It is
Yeah.
a changing of the
That's
tides. Listen to the
ooh.
tug. Please listen to the tug. Just do it. It is scary. Just do it.
Them tugs don't lead you wrong. I was talking to my sister today about some tugs that she had and she ignored and listened to people. And now
Mm.
she's seeing yesterday she got evidence that she should have listened to evidence, hardcore evidence that she should have listened to the tug.
And that thing
And
hit
it just like, she's like, I gotta stop. She was just sharing, she's like, I gotta stop listening to people.
yeah.
And she's like, because I'll get that gut feeling. And then I just go, I like, will try out. People like, just try or just do this and just do that. And she said, I need to stop doing that because now here I am again, disappointed, feeling
It's,
like my time was wasted
yeah.
when I could have just listened to my gut. And she even compared it to where she had that before. She's like, every time I don't listen,
And get
I
that.
end up.
Yeah.
And that tug is real.
Like the elders would say, that's why God gave you the vision.
Look, what?
Ain't nobody gonna see it but you. I didn't tell you to run the Candace and be like, hey.
Pastor Ralph. Um, let me write that down.
Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yes,
I
that's
got
fine.
I don't have anything. This has been good. It's always this is like, y'all know Ralph and I are high believers in therapy, and I know that this is therapeutic for both of us when we
Therapy,
do this.
talking,
Yeah,
because that's really because I mean that's what therapy is. You go in there and
yeah,
you doggone talk those things out.
right.
Um,
So this has been good for me. Some reminders of some things, some little bit of confirmation, and honestly, overall, just to keep doing what I'm doing because I've been hyper focused lately on Candace, what does self-love look like? That would be a challenge that I would, share out to whoever views this. Figure out what that looks like for you. You might surprise yourself and find like that nap I had today, it felt like self-love.
it was.
It
It
was.
was. Wait a minute. Segue for out. You know, soft girl error is really your error on your own.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to date? And don't you dare marry nobody until you live with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your vision, God gave you the vision
Okay.
for you.
For you.
Shoot.
So you don't need confirmation and approval and validation from nobody else because God had to say, uh, I used to write this I had it written on my mirror for a long time. It said, what is it? It's like God, Lord, the moment I want to say it, I can't. God, it's like God certified the chosen and not the chosen was certified. You know what I'm talking about? Like qualified.
Yep.
God qualified the chosen instead of the qualified being chosen. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll get it. Yeah. But yeah, you telling yourself, oh, I don't have this, that, and the third, and that. God said, this is what
Right.
I want you to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't
I
take,
don't have anything else. This has been great as usual.
yes. Um, so until next time, please don't embarrass me and stay sexy and stay safe. Do not embarrass me.
You're not embarrassed.